Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. This is the Monday weekly news where I keep you up to date with everything going on in the industry, and things are starting to heat up in the month of August. Two of the most anticipated VR shooters are dropping soon, Roblox is here, and there's a lot more going on. We have this week's game releases and new announcements to go over, plus Meta is still burning tons of money. Now, there are, of course, links and timestamps if you want to skip ahead, but before we jump in, this video is brought to you by my sponsor, Kiwi Design. They currently make my favorite Quest 2 Elite strap, which comes in multiple different versions. You can add an extra battery pack, high-quality headphones, or even both. They also have other products like Valve Index-style hand straps, and they just introduced a brand new RGB stand. Your controllers and headset magnetically connect. There's a charging indicator so you'll know when your headset's ready to go. And there's plenty of different RGB color options available. There's a link to Kiwi Design down in the description. And don't forget to use discount code Mateo311 for 5% off and to help support this channel. Okay, so let's start this video off like normal with the check-in. And that's what exactly have I been up to. Now, I did receive a catwalk, which I'm currently going through some technical difficulties in traditional matte fashion, but the software is not detecting the hardware, and when that eventually gets worked out, I should have a catwalk review for you guys. Now, on top of that, I went back to a couple games that I never got around to playing, which includes Propagation Paradise Hotel, which I'm enjoying so far. I also went back to live streaming this week. Shell Games asked me to show off Among Us VR, their new Polaris Point map update. We did that with a couple other YouTubers. Unfortunately, Shell Games and Everslaught were joining us, but their Wi-Fi went out on the day of the event, so there was only like 2 members from the development staff with us. But we had a lot of fun, and I realized I really miss live streaming. So you guys let me know down in the comments, should I start live streaming again? It was just a ton of fun. It was great. I love it. Yeah. Now, I mentioned how August is heating up a bit, and I will have this month's new releases coming in a video on Wednesday. So if you want to see all the games that are dropping this month, come back Wednesday, make sure to subscribe, turn notifications on. And finally, there's a non-VR game coming, which I expect to take up so much of my time. That is Baldur's Gate 3. You guys know I'm a huge RPG fan. It actually inspired one of my videos from last week. I'll link that. Just check it out. It's all about VR Dungeons & Dragons or VR RPGs in general. If you're someone who likes VR and RPGs, I highly recommend you check out the video, and hopefully one day we get a perfect Dungeons & Dragons experience in VR. And speaking of RPGs, the first game in this week's new releases is Steel Guardian. Steel Guardian is an open-world sandbox adventure with a focus on combat and exploration. The combat is physics-based, there's a wide array of spells at your disposal, and plenty of different enemy types to dispatch. The game looks like a combination of Blade and Sorcery meets Vanishing Realms, which would be a pretty excellent mashup. Now, this is currently an early access release, but future updates include dismemberment, ranged weapons, additional spells, an extended map size, enhanced enemy AI, additional settlements, and more depth in the merchant system. I definitely want to keep an eye on this game and see how it develops. Now, if you're more of a puzzle fan, we have the Riese Project Prologue. This title is intended to be a playable introduction to a future full version of the game. The storyline is based on real-world events, and you'll be exploring complexes built by the Nazis in the 1940s. The title's set to offer up several hours of gameplay, with an engaging storyline, packed with numerous interactive objects, and other means for you to lose track of time. Additionally, this project is made with Unreal Engine 5, utilizing the newest features Lumen and Nanite, so it's expected to deliver some highly realistic visuals. Now, next up in this week's new releases, we have the immersive cinematic storytelling experience, Aonar. Aonar is based on Scottish folklore, and you'll be taking on the role of a lighthouse keeper who's exploring the Scottish Isles. Now, there's really not much more information on this title available, but it does appear to be a visually immersive experience, and if you're into VR storytelling, you might want to check it out. And the final game dropping this week is Uboat: The Silent Wolf. Now, I actually already started playing this, and you're going to be controlling a submarine during World War II. It reminds me a lot of Medal of Honor, but actually in a good way. It's the overall aesthetic and graphics are very similar, but the game has a cool feel, lots of action. I didn't get into it that much yet, but if you're into World War II, submarines, stuff like that, it looks like a cool option for you guys to check out. Now, if you're looking for more information on this game, I know many other YouTubers will be dropping some content about this one, so just stay tuned. Unfortunately, though, I don't think I'm going to get around to it. Now, that was all of this week's new game releases, but there's plenty of other game-related news to talk about. And first up, Everslaught is back. I'm not talking about Everslaught Invasion for the Quest, a game which I was really disappointed by. I'm talking about the original PCVR version that was intended to be Diablo meets Doom. I was really disappointed when MobX decided we're going to give up on this PC title and jump over to Quest and make a mediocre game. Well, they said a stream of constant updates are on the way, and I am really looking forward to it. They actually directly messaged me because we kind of have a little beef at this point. They were upset about my Everslaught invasion review. So they messaged me, said, listen, we're going to be doing a constant stream of new updates. We're going to bring this game to what we originally wanted it to be. And I cannot wait to see that happen. But I am a little skeptical. And so far, they've failed twice in my opinion, and I hope this is not the third strike. Now, we obviously have to mention Roblox coming to App Lab. It's here, people are trying it out, and the reviews are definitely mixed. Now, I see some kids are already annoyed because the age limit is 13 plus, so the little kiddies are frustrated that they can't play this in VR, and if they have an account that lists them as under 13 right now, they can't log in. Now, on top of that, I know a bunch of other people playing it. I just briefly got into it, not enough to really have an opinion. But I do agree with the people saying, listen, the current implementation is mediocre and performance is meh. It'll probably be like bigger when we get the Quest 3 and running better, but it needs work as it is. However, it is a great opportunity for a lot more content. Some of the content that is already there is definitely really cool. You just need to fix up that VR implementation, get it running a little bit better, streamline a few things, and we're definitely onto something. And I will say it's better than like Meta's Horizon Worlds, which is terrible. So it's better than terrible. Now, on a serious note, the potential is there, and I am excited for Roblox in VR, but it needs to mature a bit for sure. Now, moving on to what's actually heating up VR this month is two of the most anticipated multiplayer shooters are dropping within days of each other. Now, that is Firewall Ultra and Crossfire Sierra Squad. I am super pumped for both of these titles. We just got 2 new trailers, and things are looking good, except I recently talked about that Firewall Ultra trailer, which was terrible. I still think the game will be good, but I don't know what went wrong with this trailer. Now, if you're curious as to why you should be excited for Firewall Ultra, well, the original Firewall was arguably one of the best VR shooters ever made, but definitely the best one available on the original PlayStation VR. This new title is designed to take advantage of the PlayStation VR2, so we can expect a huge upgrade to the graphics and new features like head haptics and eye tracking to be utilized. It also has both 8-person PvP modes and 4-person co-op. So most likely, if you're into VR shooters, you will enjoy this game, but if not, there's also Crossfire Sierra Squad. Now, you will be dropping the PvP for this title, but you will be getting an over-the-top adrenaline-fueled single-player campaign, plus up to 54-person co-op missions. If you enjoy running in guns blazing, this game will definitely satisfy, but there's also a realism mode where you'll have to be slow and methodical in all of your moves. So it looks like August will be a great month for VR shooter fans. And let's just close out this video with some pretty insane revenue numbers from Meta. Now, the amount they're spending on VR and AR continues to grow year after year, and they're not even close to making any profit whatsoever. So Reality Labs brought in roughly $280 million in the second quarter of 2023, which is about 40% less than the exact time last year. On top of that, their spending is in the multiple billions. Roughly $3.5 billion is being spent on developing new technologies and software applications. So obviously, this is a massive operating loss. But that is all for the future of VR. It just continues to show how dedicated Meta is for this project. Now, revenue is expected to increase with the sales of the Quest 3. However, it's not going to make up a multi-billion-dollar gap. But we know Meta is planning things long-term. They don't expect to be profitable in the AR/VR division until around 2030 or 2035, somewhere between that. This is the cost of creating spatial computing. They're in it for the long haul, like I already said, and I hope they eventually pull it off, that all this money isn't spent for nothing and AR and VR fail. I don't think that's the case. I wouldn't be here if I felt that way, obviously, but no one really knows what the future holds. But I can say at this point, they've spent about as much money as we spent, if you adjust for inflation, to send a person to the freaking moon. So spatial computing is more costly than sending people to the moon. I don't know. That's pretty wild. I think that's a perfect point to leave this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the news. Let me know if you did down in the comments. Again, continue to let me know what you think about the face-to-face interaction. I see you guys. And the comment about streaming. Should I go back to streaming? It was so much fun when I did it this week. Okay, everybody, that was today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys on next time.